All right, so again, prisms today we're going to be looking at to find the surface area of prisms in context. But prisms, if you remember, have two bases. And we're going to be focusing on the surface area of area of the basic shapes like a triangle and a rectangle. And I think that's my next slide here. Prior knowledge says to find the area of a triangle. So if you remember formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Or you're going to take the base times the height, and then you're going to divide by 2 to find the area. And then a rectangle is length times width, or is the same thing as base times height as well. You just don't take half of it. So for prior knowledge here, we have a triangle. If I try to go find the triangle area, the base is always going to be this bottom piece right here. And then the height is going to be perpendicular to the ground. So the base and then the height is always perpendicular to the base. And then this 13 is kind of just extra information. We actually don't need the 13. That's just an extra piece of the triangle. So for this case, for finding the area of the triangle, we are going to take base times height, so 12 times 10, and then we're going to divide by 2 to find the area of this triangle. So if you guys do on your calculator 12 times 10, or 12 times 10 is just 120, and 120 divided by 2 is what? 60. So my answer is going to be 60 centimeters squared. Okay. And a rectangle is just base times height. So you're just going to multiply the 3 times the 15 in this case. This is just going to be 3 times 15. So what's my area going to be? 45, right? And then my units is always going to be squared. So in this case, it's feet. So feet squared is my answer for this one. And then centimeters is squared also. The reason why it's squared, I didn't really talk about it yesterday, but the reason why it's squared is really because it's 3 feet times 15 feet. And remember, rules for exponent is feet to the first. When you multiply bases with the same power, then you end up adding the exponent, right? So feet times feet is actually a feet squared. All right, so for today, like I said, we're going to focus on the two basic prisms. We're going to be looking at triangular prisms, and then we're also going to be looking at the rectangular prisms, okay? So a triangular prism tells you the name of the solid, tells you what shape the base is. So because that says triangular, that tells you that the bases are triangles, and then the sides are going to end up being rectangles, okay? So sides are going to be rectangles. So if you think about what we did in our first lesson, if we opened up the net, we ended up with the two bases being triangles, and then the sides were rectangles. And then the rectangular prism tells you that the bases and all the sides are actually going to be rectangles. And then the properties of a cube is that all the sides are squares, basically, okay? So for our steps today for finding surface area, we're going to draw a net for the figure, and then we're going to find the area of each shape in the net. And then at the end, you're going to add all of the areas together, okay? So looking at my first example here, it says to find the surface area of the tent, including the bottom. So we're going to include all surfaces. So if I think about the net here, what shape is my base here? My base is actually this front, right? There's going to be two of them that are equal. So this is going to be the front and the back are both going to be triangles. And it's kind of hard to see because it's filled in. But it's the triangle is going to be the base. And then notice I have like 3 rectangles because I have a triangular prism, okay? So if I go draw the net, I know I'm going to have a triangle. So just draw a triangle for the net. And then you're going to draw the sides. The sides are all going to be rectangles. And how many rectangles should I have? 3 rectangles. Good. And how many rectangles you have depends on what shape your base is. If your base is a triangle only has 3 sides, so you should have 3 rectangles. If your base is a rectangle, then that means you have 4 sides because the rectangle has 4 sides. Okay, once we have the net, then we need to figure out like all of the dimensions that we have in our tent. So looking at the tent, I can see that this side right here is a 6. That's my base. So I know that this side from here to here is going to be 6. So I'm going to put my 6 right there, which is going to equal this side over here is also going to be 6, right? And then I also see that the triangle has a height of 4 feet. So I'm going to draw my height right here. I'm going to put my 4 over here on the outside. My height is 4. And then if you try to visualize the bottom of the tent, if you look at the bottom of the tent, what dimensions is that bottom rectangle right there? It's 6 feet by 12 feet, right? The bottom is going to be 12 feet. So then I know that this is going to be 12 right here. And then if I look at the side of the tents, what are my dimensions for the side of the tent? It's 12 feet by 5 feet. So then I know that the 5 feet is actually going to be this side right here. Because all of these are going to be the same length. These are all going to be 12. That means that the sides here are going to be 5s. Okay. And then this height over here is also going to be 4 feet. That's what my picture is going to end up looking like. My net is that's what it's going to look like, right? So I'm going to go find the area of each piece, and then I'm going to go add them together, okay? So looking at the area of a rectangle, my area, I find it by calculating the base times the height. So on this particular rectangle, how do I calculate this area? What's my dimensions? 12 and 5, right? So this I'm going to do 12 times 5 for my first triangle. 12 times 5 plus my second rectangle. My second rectangle has dimensions 12 by 6. So then I know that this is going to be 12 times 6. This one is 12 times 5. Plus my third triangle, I keep saying triangle, sorry. My third rectangle is also going to be 12 times 5. Plus, then I'm going to add my triangles. My triangles, formula for a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So for this one, I'm going to do 6 times 4 divided by 2. Okay, 6 times 4 divided by 2, but I have 2 triangles of the same dimensions. So 6 times 4 divided by 2. Okay, and then I'm just going to go end up adding everything up. So I need to multiply. And I'm going to do just piece by piece. I'm going to do 12 times 5. So 12 times 5 is what? 60? plus, what's 12 times 6? 12 times 6, is that 72? Okay, thank you. Plus 12 times 5 is 60 again. Plus my triangles are 6 times 4 is 24. 24 divided by 2 gives me 12. And I have 2 triangles. So 12 plus 12. And then now you're just going to go add everything up. So in your calculator, 60 plus 72 plus 60 plus 12 plus 12. 216. Okay, so 216, and then my units are feet squared. And that's going to be my final answer. And then don't forget you have to write a little sentence. So the surface area, I'm just going to put SA. The surface area of the tent is about 216 square feet. All right, so let's have you guys practice one with the triangular base as well. That's basically going to have the same net as the previous one. So you guys go ahead and try this one, and then I'll show you the solution. So for most of these, the once you have the picture, then you can just go multiply everything out, and then you add each individual shape, and then that'll be your total surface area. Yes? Oh, that's not, that's a 2. Sorry, that's the, it looks like a 3, but sorry, that was a 2. 2.5 times 2.4 divided by 2. This is 2.5 is the base, and then 2.4 is the height. All right, and then that's our final answer with the sentence. Okay. Next, if we look at our next shape, we're going to look now at rectangular prisms. Rectangular prisms are usually easier. So a rectangular prism, it's actually kind of easier because you're gonna have 3 pairs of congruent rectangles. So like for example, this is 9 by 18 is the bottom, but the top is also gonna be 9 by 18. And then you have the sides, the left and the right side is gonna actually be 5 inches by 9 inches, and those two are gonna be the same. And then you have the front and the back are both gonna be 5 by 18. So if we draw the net, it's going to look something like this. And then we're going to have, this is basically going to be like the left side. This one's going to be the right side. This is going to be like the bottom. This is going to be the back. This is going to be the front and the top side. Okay. So like if I fold it back up, that's kind of where everything is at. So if we look at the top and the bottom are going to be the same. The top and the bottom are both going to be what dimensions? Look at your picture. Which one is the top and the bottom? What 2 numbers go with the top and the bottom? The 9, 18, and 5. Out of those 3, which 2 goes with the top and bottom? 18 and 9. Good. The bottom has a 9 by 18. So my bottom side is going to be 9 times 18. And the top is also going to be 9 times 18. Then if I look at the front side is this with this. So what's my dimensions for the front and back? 5 by 18. So I'm going to put 5 by 18. and 5 by 18. And then I'm missing, what side am I missing? The left and the right. So the left and the right has this dimension by this dimension. So I know it's 9. 9 by what? 5. Good. This is 9 by 5. 9 by 5. And I have 2 of each side. So if I just multiply one of them, like what's 9 times 5? 45. So I know this is 45 plus 45 because I know I have 2 of them that are the same. And then if I get the front and the back, 5 times 18 is what? Can you guys check for me? 5 times 18? 90? Well, we have 2 of those that are the same, right? And then for my bottom and top, that's 9 times 18. So check for me what's 9 times 18? 162. But I have 2 of them, so I'm just going to add 2 of them. Okay? And then at the end, you just go add everything all up together. What did you guys get? 594? You guys all got that? Okay, and my units are inches squared. And then don't forget to write a sentence. Let me answer the phone.